Sport itself is insane. It's swinging razor blade axes.
3 shots from Cassidy Shear.
If it was the biggest, strongest guy to win the 6 disciplines, I would probably win 95% of the time.
Quick to the wood is Jason Lynch.
Athleticism and precision and mental focus trump strength anytime.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of mental stress. And you're just staring at that piece of wood in front of you, and it's like, how am I going to dissect this the fastest, most efficient way?
Your timber. Great clean underhand cut. 3. Looking bigger and stronger than ever. It's right on the go, in unison. 2. Just exceptional choppers. Very aggressive. 1. Man, was he shifting timber. This is going to get real serious in a hurry. Go!
STIHL Timber Sports is the pinnacle of lumberjack sports.
Final STIHL Timbersports U.S. Championships and our second semifinal round. Let's bring out the man who leads us through all the way. Known around the world as one of the greatest choppers and sawyers of all time, a true living legend of the lumberjack sports. Let's hear it for the one, the only Super Dave Jewett. Well, Super Dave Jewett, he's got a lot to say.
Yes.
Don't make any mistake about that. But sometimes the infrastructure isn't right. Yes. Yes, let's do it again.
Like it never happened.
Let me introduce you again.
Hide over here.
It is my pleasure. Let's bring him out now, the man who leads us through all of the action today, a true wizard regarding this sport. He is one of the best known around the world choppers and sawyers of all time, a living legend of lumberjack sports, the one, the only Super Dave Jewett.
Hey, Little Rock, thanks for having me back 2 years in a row. My name is Super Dave Jewett. I'm going to be announcing the show today. That's right, I competed in timber sports, the original extreme sport, for 25 years. Now I have the honor of calling the sport for the up-and-coming athletes. Today, we have done so much. We've done the semifinal round for Pool A. We're now going to do the semifinal round for the professional men for Pool B. We did the rookie division. We crowned our champion. So tomorrow will be another big day. We're going to have the finals for the men and the finals for the professional women. But like I said, the sport exploded. It started here in the U.S., the original extreme sport. Now it is all around the world, 27 countries strong. So we are filming today for the live stream and also to be broadcast on CBS Sports this fall. So fortunately, I'm going to have some hand calling the show today. I'm going to have a little bit of help from Tommy Sanders, been in the sport 33 years calling timber sports, and an ex-timber sport athlete and crosscut world record holder. Give it up for Kevin Holtz. Gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Dave. And Kevin, just as we did have in Pool A, we are loaded with talent. We have 10 ready to go, but we're going to take them down to 6. So fill us in on who the favorites are and what the chalk is, as they say.
You know, we had a great round of action in Pool A. The cream rose at the top. Some of the names that I would expect to did, in fact, rise to the top, and a couple of surprises along the way, and I'm expecting the same thing here. Jason Lentz. Jason Lentz has my undivided attention here. I'm very curious to see how he comes out and runs in this qualification round. I have no doubt he'll advance to the finals, but I want to see how well he does here, what tricks he's pulling out of his bag, and exactly how he goes about some of these different disciplines. He has a very difficult field, though, up against him today, and we're going to meet those folks right now.
All right, Dave, we hand it over to you for that job.
Let's bring them out. Our athletes are going to be competing in semifinal round Pool B from Toll House, California, Walt Page. And from Marysville, Tennessee, Adam Lefko. From Amsterdam, New York, big round of applause, Tyler White. Coatesville, Pennsylvania gives us Mike Esch. Our returning Timber Sports overall champion from 2021 from Diana, West Virginia, Jason Lentz. From Lehigh, Pennsylvania, big welcome for Alex Storm. Out of Springville, New York, big round of applause, Mark Boquin. From Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Matt Slingerland. Hailing from Marysville, Ohio, Grant Foreman. And our final competitor in Pool B from Morgantown, West Virginia, Josh Wilson. And let's bring out our two judges, our head judge. First of all, Rich Hallett. And our assistant head judge, Nathan Waterfield. Competition
Let's
format. Take a look
three-round
up
competition
here.
is scored. In round one, our 10 competitors will compete in 3 events: the underhand, the stock saw, and the standing block. Then only our top 8 advance after that round into round 2. In this round, they'll compete in the single buck and the springboard. 6 athletes with the most points after round 2 advance to the final round. The remaining field of 6 survivors will compete in the hot saw. The remaining field of 6 survivors will compete in the hot saw and punch their ticket to the finals of the U.S. Championship.
All right, our first event is going to be the underhand chop. And in the first heat, coming up soon, let's take a look at the underhand chop.
The axes used in timber sports definitely can't be bought at your local hardware store. Made from special steel, the blade is hand sanded with an angle of 13 to 16 degrees. It's custom built and carefully adjusted for each competition. The weight is around 3 kilos and it's about 80 centimeters long. The blade is so sharp that you could shave with it. Underhand chop. In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to split logs. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, the athletes cut through a 32-centimeter log. The block has to be worked from both sides.
Big slab from Matt Koger. Opening blow draws a big chip to chase the hand chop gets cut. Take a look at Matt Koger. This is coming to you from Minnesota a few years ago. Excuse me, Milwaukee, Wisconsin a few years ago. Beautiful cut here from Matt Koger, getting the job done and taking the win over Arden Koger Jr.
Well, there we go. Underhand chop. We have 10 competitors. That means 5 heats and upcoming heats between Grant Foreman and Joshua Wilson. Mark Boquin, Matt Slingerland, Alexander Storm and Jason Lintz, Tyler White, Mike Esch in heat number 2. And we're ready, Dave, for heat number 1.
Let's bring them out. First heat of the underhand chop, Pool B, Walt Page and Adam Lethko.
Walt Page from California. Been overachieving out here for a good many years now. It's gone by very quickly. Adam Lethko from Tennessee. Very talented chopper. And Sawyer.
Well, the talent for both these guys was evident right out of the gate.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Talent for both of these guys was evident right out of the gate. Dave Jewett and I had the great fortune to travel on the collegiate series, meeting a lot of these competitors just in their infancy, and the development has been insane. Let's go around about 3 blows ahead of Walt Page, but do not discount Walt Page. He is a tall, long, lanky chopper, brings that axe down from maximum altitude for maximum power. Let's go's driving, there it is. But look at Walt Page, reels him back into just maybe 1 or 2 swings behind, capitalized on the backside of that block and reeled him in a good amount.
What a great cut by Adam Lethko. We'll be talking more about him as this pool unfolds. But unofficially winning the first heat of the underhand, Pool B.
Nice job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
Adam, you've just been on fire this year, but you're a very generous athlete. You help a lot of the competitors. I know you've been helping Matt Slingerland rebuild his underhand technique. You said it takes 2 years to do that. What makes you such an accomplished axeman?
It's mainly a group of guys I work with on a regular basis. We all train together, really help each other out, really critique each other, and it's really just a bunch of teamwork.
Thanks, Adam.
No problem.
Well, here's another vantage point on that last heat. You can see Walt Page just ripping that axe out of the sky and just getting great axe penetration, big chips falling out of the backside of that block. Lethko, great swing speed, beautiful accuracy on this turn. You put yourself into a bit of a tilt-a-whirl there as you're coming around to the backside of the block, and sometimes that first hit either doesn't have the penetration or the accuracy you want. Lethko landed both, but credit to Walt Page. He was further behind at this turn than it may have looked, and he really reeled Adam in at the end.
Adam Lethko, a great start for his day, 23:43. He takes the first heat, and Walt Page, an official time of 24.70, just behind him.
Second heat of the underhand, introduce Tyler White and Mike Esch.
Tyler White, 34 years old, from Swampscott, Maine. Been competing for a long time, though. And Mike Esch from Coatesville, PA. One of the ageless ones. He has been out here a game performer for a good many years.
I'll credit a lot of that to his technique. Mike Esch is a technician. He is a student of this sport, and he will disassemble these blocks as efficiently as anyone out there.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Big opening drives from both of these competitors. You can see Tyler White, again, right out of the gate, getting that axe way up in the air. Now he's gone into more of a crunched up, hunched over position. Both of them turned in together, though. Mike Esch opening with a tremendous amount of slope. Gives him a big movie screen window there to put his next round of hits in. It's really a dead heat in this backside. Whoever got the most work done on the front, it looks like Tyler White is going to get it off there. And Mike Esch finds those last couple of fibers just on his heels.
Mike Esch is veteran of the finals so many years. Tyler White so hungry to advance to the final round.
Nice job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
Tyler, great job. First heat, a lot of pressure put on you. I'm sorry, the second heat. How are you feeling today? How are you enjoying being in the semifinal round, especially going against the veteran Mike Esch?
Well, it's always great to make it to this level. I'm just happy that's over. I'm always nervous about the first event. We went out, we had a good chop, so I'm happy.
All right, good luck rest of the day.
Thank you.
Well, they're one in the books for Tyler White. He mentioned getting the rust and the dust knocked off. A lot of these competitors are traveling many, many, many hours. Cars, trucks, airplanes, whatever it takes to get here. So getting that first event under your belt is a huge thing. Tyler White had a bit of a hang up. He was really reaching down for that bottom wood on the front side. Maybe got the heel of the axe stuck in there a bit. Once he got turned to that backside, there you see kind of that errant blow that we talked about. It's really tough to get that first hit lined up on that turn as you get going on the backside of the log. Here you see Tyler working into that bottom, or getting towards the bottom of that block. He's got to roll that nose around, finds that last fiber, and drives it off.
Tyler White's official time of 25.28. Lands him in third place for now, and Mike Esch with a 27.83.
Third heat of the underhand. Big round of applause for Jason Lentz and Alex Storm. Big Jason Lentz, our returning overall champion from last year. You'll notice the stage is slightly tilting to the left right now. 265 pounds, one of the strongest men in the business. Fourth generation lumberjack athlete, Jason Lentz.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, many people, Jason Lentz notwithstanding, have been waiting for Jason Lentz to get his first championship. He finally put it all together last year in a definitive form. Now it's time for his sophomore album, and here it is, discipline number 1 in the semifinal round. Beautiful, clean lines on the backside of that block. A lot of wood left at the bottom, but that axe flows through like it was just passing into fresh air.
Great cut by Alex Storm. Staying with last year's champion, Jason Lentz. We'll get a word.
We can't really distract, though, from the cut that Alex Storm just put up. What a tall order. You go up against last year's champ, Jason Lentz, on stand number 1. Alex is right on his heels, about 2 or 3 strokes behind him in that underhand.
Alex in his first appearance in the championships here, and that was a good first effort. Again, going up against the reigning U.S. champion, the reigning world champion, Jason Lentz.
Good job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
Jason, always a face of stone. You're on fire lately, let's face it. You're 2021 overall champion. You backed it up 2022, winning the U.S. Champions race. Do you feel pressure on yourself to just perform and keep that up at that high level?
A little bit, Dave, but I'm getting some age on me, so that's tending to settle down a little bit.
Your dad's won the national title so many times. What sort of advice did he give you coming into the semifinal round?
Oh, just cut smart. Take one event at a time, and it'll happen how it happens.
Thanks for your time, Jason.
Thank you.
Jason alluding to it, he's getting, I don't want to say getting on in years because he's still a heck of a lot younger than I am, but that maturity, that age, that wisdom brings that level of calmness, and I think that was one of the biggest ingredients for him last year. The other big ingredient is drawing a huge slab on your opening blow on the backside. You see that block just open, wide open for him. I thought he had maybe an extra drive coming there in the bottom. I thought I was going to give him some resistance. Watch his final blow. Little hang up there at the top, goes to the bottom once, punches it in the guts, and then down to the bottom one last time, pass through it like it was tissue paper.
Next heat of the underhand chop. Let's bring out Mark Boquin and Matt Slingerland.
Mark Boquin from Springville, New York, the arborist. Made the finals in our U.S. championships back in 2019. Back in 2018, Matt Slingerland got himself very, very close to the champion trophy.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Matt Slingerland is another one in that category right there with Jason Lentz. We're like, when is Matt going to get his national title? He's been right there so many times, and look at the underhand cut he's got going on now. Just drawing big chips out of the backside of this block. He's getting pinched in a bit. He can't afford to lose any wood. He punches it one more time at the bottom. There it is. Last fibers giving away. Unofficial time well within the first place bracket. He's showing about an 1867 on the board.
He was disqualified in the underhand last year, cost him a place in the finals. So he's had today's date circled on his calendar for a year, looking for some redemption in that underhand.
Good job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
Matty, prior to the quarterfinal round, you were training the underhand chop. You had a tumble off the log when you hit a chip, hurt your elbow, and I think you're downplaying it, though. How you feeling today? How's the elbow affecting you in the underhand?
Well, yeah, I don't think it affected me any. I don't think it will. I did have a nasty tumble. Just making sure I drive the log off right. That's all I care about.
Good cut, Matt.
Thanks.
There you see Matt working into the front side of this log. Watch this turn as he comes around, gets that heel way down in the log, opens up a beautiful 2-2. That's a huge wide open face. Now he's turning his attention to the middle of the log, gets that top cleaned out, back to the middle, down to the bottom, one more, and then he has to go back and do a little half hit there just to find those last elusive fibers that may have got left behind on the bottom of the front side of the log.
There it is, Matt Slingerland's official time, 18.52 for Mark Boquin, a 20.42.
Final heat of the underhand chop already. Let's bring them out. Grant Foreman and Josh Wilson. Grant Foreman just shaking up the timber sports world last year. He was the last seed only a few years ago. He made the finals last year. And he said this morning, Dave, I'm a little nervous. I think those nerves are going to go away when he hits this underhand.
Grant Foreman from Marysville, Ohio. Josh Wilson from New Stanton, Pennsylvania. Josh was 9th in our U.S. championships last year.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Wow, Grant Foreman really tight on that go. I imagine Rich Hallett's going to take a look at it. I think he's all right, but he didn't leave any room to spare. Josh Wilson, one of the fastest swing speeds out there. He's around into the backside of this log. Grant Foreman, though, is a very patient and technical cutter. He may have done a better job in the front side of this log. Josh Wilson, though, there it is. He's going to have it. But look at, once again, Grant Foreman, you know what? I like engineers. Engineers know how to build things, take things apart, and Grant Foreman takes apart that block very cleanly.
good understanding of dynamics. That's what engineers bring to it here. Grant, a great effort right there. Josh Wilson may have been our winner. We're uncertain as yet. We're unofficial times.
Josh Wilson, in his entry into the sport, started keeping great company. You know, he's working with the greatest names in the sport, and one of the things he picked up was swing speed. And he has one of the fastest swing speeds of our up-and-coming competitors. See a flag on the stage there in front of stand 1. Not surprising, like I said, to my eye, Grant was very close.
After reviewing the start, we've determined that both cuts are good.
Good news there.
Grant Foreman pumping his fist because he knows that he was close on that go.
Well, Josh, you've just been bringing another gear this year. You lit it up on the U.S. Trophy event. You got a great underhand there. I know you're fighting a migraine from yesterday. How you feeling today?
I feel good today. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here. It's been good wood so far. Obviously, it's just one event, but yeah, I mean, my underhand's been clicking since basically after the show last year, so I've been cutting very well and happy with that cut for the most part. So.
Thanks for your time, Josh.
Yep, no problem.
Josh Wilson. Here they are, a different look, head-to-head. You can see, look at that massive chip that fell out of the front side of Grant Foreman's log. Josh Wilson just bringing a little more speed. Once again, maybe overlapping those first couple of hits on the back side of that log. Grant showing just a little bit of extra patience in the front side of that block, cleaning it out a little bit further. It is exceptionally difficult to overcome if you leave too much wood on the bottom of the front side of the log. It's hard to reach that bottom timber from any perspective, but if you have to reach that bottom timber on the front side of the log from the back side of the log, cutting past the center of the log, that is an impossible or extremely difficult task.
Josh Wilson's official time of 20.61 for Grant Foreman, 22.36. So Matt Slingerland, the first one to take the first contest of the day there. Jason Lentz in second place, our defending champion. Matt Boquin in third. And again, Josh Wilson in fourth place. Of course, that is the mirror of our total points, our steel points right there. So ahead, Matt Slingerland, Jason Lentz, and all the rest. We got 10 in action now, and we will wind up with 6 going to the championship. We move on to our next discipline, the stock saw, momentarily.
Let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Big league performance in your backyard with battery power made by STIHL. Our AK home motor system starts at just $199.99. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find yours at over 10,000 local STIHL dealers.
STIHL, the name you love and trust, is at acehardware.com. From chainsaws to edgers, trimmers to blowers, Ace has the STIHL equipment you need. Just pick your power from gas to battery. STIHL has you covered at acehardware.com.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way, to take the trail untrodden, to take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
The chainsaws are onto the stage. First heat of the stock saw. Let's bring them out. Tyler White and Alex Storm.
Tyler White finished 9th place in the underhand chop, our first discipline of the day. Alex Storm coming in the 6th spot. All of our 10 athletes trying to fight their way into the top 6 at the end of it all today.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Very quick to the saw, but a little bit of a float above the block. It may not have been too noticeable, but especially Storm on stand number 2, just kind of floating up there for a bit. He reels it back in, though. White and Storm. Look at this, 1190, 1183. Those are the unofficial times. We'll call it a tie at this point until we can go back and watch it on video.
Alex Storm coming on strong with that upcut.
I'm saying Tyler White. What do you say?
Nice job, gentlemen.
I'll take
Both
Storm
cuts are good.
First year in Timber Sports, first qualifier. Hey, you're in the semifinal round. Whether you're aware of this or not, this is the big time. Tell us how you're feeling up there racing against Tyler White.
Yeah, Dave, felt good to get 2 cuts off. That's what I wanted. I took a split second at the beginning of my first cut just to get lined up. At the qualifier, I hit the choke on my stock saw and shut it off, had to restart, so I was pretty upset with that. I was really focusing on that initial pickup into the wood straight, and then I was pretty confident that my exchange would be good and I'd be able to feel the wood coming back out of the second cut.
Hoping to see you in the finals. Go make it happen.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best.
Okay, well, let's go back and watch this one more time, side by side. There's Tyler White into the wood first, but Storm does a beautiful job reeling him in. Tyler White ahead at the switch. It really was, like Dave said, that second cut. Wow.
Hard one to call, and we can't call it yet. We still don't have the official time for Alex Storm. Tyler White's was 11.75, and he wins it. 11.80 is the official time for Alex Storm.
Well, Tommy, you called it right on this one. It was Tyler White. I don't know what kind of laser eyeballs you had going on there, but what a close race. We'll watch this again, frame by frame by frame. Yeah, it was. There, yeah, Tyler White.
First heat of the stock saw in the books right there as you see it. We have 4 more heats to come.
Well, this has been a running theme with the stock saw event the past several years, the past, I'll say, half decade now at this point. These competitors are getting more and more fine-tuned. They are breaking down slow speed video, timing hands on wood to saw back to the top of the block, time through the first cut, time for the switch, time through the second cut. They are just dialing in their performance down to the hundredths of a second, and there it is right there, the difference between winning and losing a heat.
Second heat of the stock saw. Give it up for Josh Wilson and Grant Foreman.
Time to beat is going to be that 11.75 from Tyler White. Josh Wilson on stand 1, Grant Foreman on stand 2.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Once again, synchronized cutting from both of these athletes. Look at the switch there, right together again. Get ready, Tommy. We got to call another close one here. Oh, this one, though, in the end, is going to be Grant Foreman. Even my eye could pick that one up.
You got it. You nailed it.
Well, and again, that was all second cut. That was all that trip back up through the block. They were right together to the saw. They were right together through the wood on the switch. It really was Grant Foreman pushing that envelope just a little further on that upcut.
Nice job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
Grant, I love telling this story. When I decided to stop competing and I took this announcing job, you were the last seed, and you got pulled up to take my place as the final seed. You made it in the finals last year, proving you deserve to be here in the Timber Sports semifinals, hopefully the finals. How you feeling?
Definitely a lot different than I did taking that last spot several years ago. A lot more relaxed, more comfortable with the events, and a lot of training, helps out with that. And stock saw something I train hard, so I'm proud of those 2 cuts there.
How do you truly mentally prepare yourself for Timber Sports, because it's unlike any other event around the world?
It is, and there's so many events. It's not like golf or baseball or other, skill, mind-based events. There's so many different things you have to do. So the more you can practice, the more repetition, the easier it'll come when you do the competition.
Thanks for your time, Grant.
Thanks.
Well, there it is one more time. Grant Foreman, quick and clean to the wood. Nice, thin, straight cut on cut number 1. Very nice, clean switch. And this is where he made the paycheck. It was that upcut, that second cut, where he just found that little bit of extra torque, was pushing that envelope just a little bit farther, and got the win.
Grant Foreman official time 11.06. Josh Wilson 11.48. And of course, all 4 of our competitors who have posted a time so far, all within 0.8 of a second of one another. That's how close it gets, and can get a lot closer than that.
Well, and going back, I'm thinking back to Pool A action. This pool, Pool B, apparently is our stock saw pool, because the times in Pool A were good and the times in Pool A were close, not like Pool B.
Third heat of the stock saw. Let's bring them out, Matt Slingerland and Adam Lethgo. Watch the speed to the wood of both these athletes. They train together. They're good buddies down in Tennessee. Matt Slingerland, he does this one-hand entrance into the wood, and he is in cutting. The goal, less than 1 second, and believe me, both these gentlemen can make that happen.
Matt Slingerland, our top points getter through the first discipline here, won the underhand.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
There's that one-handed grab, getting the saw into the log. As I look down the heat list, I've been looking forward to this one, because I got the feeling it's going to be a tight race.
Oh my God. I think that's the closest yet.
Tommy, I don't know if you got your laser eyeball dialed in on that one, but what a run.
Yeah.
Two good friends, two training companions, trading a ton of information. I don't want to say they're clones of each other, but very similar in their practice.
Good job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
Adam, you started at the University of Tennessee. I remember calling the competition when you were in the STIHL collegiate ranks. And my co-commentator, Kevin Holtz, and I, we were always ducking behind our commentary table when you were swinging the axe. But you are in control. You are professional. You just won that heat of the stock saw. How did you become so good to the point that you're coaching other larger athletes now?
Well, I just didn't give up, Dave. Back in those days, yeah, it was probably pretty scary every time I watched those videos. So it's been a long road. That was, I don't know, I guess 14 years ago when that started. So, yeah, it's a lot of practice, I guess.
Got a lot of fans in the crowd. Anyone you want to shout out to?
I'd like to give a shout out to my family right here and my newborn son. He's 11 months old now.
Thanks, Adam. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Adam Jr. got a good show in that last heat. What a great run between Matt and Adam. Just two great training companions, just duking it out head to head. Here's a great look at Adam Lethgo's final cut, second cut up through the top of this block. That saw chain is absolutely loaded. No more capacity.
How about that for a blowout win? 3/100ths of a second separating Adam Lethgo, putting him ahead of Matt Slingerland. What terrific racing here with one heat left.
Got 6 competitors, less than 1 second separating 6 competitors.
Fourth heat of the stock saw. Big round of applause for Walt Page and Mike Esch. We are sub 11 seconds now, the fastest time of either Pool A or Pool B. Pool A was not able to get under the 11 seconds, but Adam Lethgo and Matt Slingerland have achieved that feat.
Warm up your saws.
Mike Esch on the right, Walt Page
Athletes
on the left.
ready.
Send to your timber.
Time to beat 1087.
3, 2, 1, go!
Stock saw is such a mentally intensive discipline, and these guys are both mentally trained athletes. Again, here we go, Tommy. Ready? Oh, wow.
Even closer.
Yeah.
Unofficially even closer than the previous heat.
First competitor in the wood has been caught.
Forever and from here on forward, this will be known as the stock saw pool. What an amazing round of cutting from all of these competitors.
Hey, Kevin and Tommy, I'm allowed to talk to you.
I didn't see it, did you?
No.
Oh, I saw everything. I don't know who won, but I saw everything.
We got it right in the last race when there was only 3/100ths of a second, so
All right, gentlemen, nice job. Both cuts are good.
Dave, you were talking about, and we got to interject this. You mentioned Adam Lethgo, and you and I watching him get started. I remember watching this guy get started, Walt Page. His very first time we ever were on the West Coast, we watched him run a stock saw. One or the other of I just said, just like these college kids and the stock saw, it should be easy, and it isn't. And then Walt Page just stepped up and made it look so freaking easy, it was out of control, and he's been consistent ever since.
Walt Page, he comes off as an emotionless competitor up here, but it is all just controlled emotion. But his timing when he hits a standing block, when he hits a springboard coming up, it's unbelievable. He makes it so even. He makes it look easy, and for his competitors like myself who used to be in this, I would just get frustrated because I was competing for 20 years before Walt Page showed up. Next thing you know, I couldn't even keep up with him.
Yeah. We'll take another look here. There's Walt Page on the left, Mike Esch on the right. Two polar opposites in terms of levels of experience, time spent in the sport. But again, it's that mental acuity that both of them bring to this discipline. I think Stan won just barely.
Well, you're right on that one. It is Walt Page, the official time of 10.88, and Mike Esch at a 10.96. So 16/100ths of a second separating these two. Good eye, Kevin, especially the second time around.
And here's what's nuts. It doesn't take much of an eye to see this, but as close as Walt Page and Mike Esch were to each other, Matt Slingerland's time from the last heat snuck in between them. So if we'd put all three of them on the stage at the same time, I mean, it's insane how dialed in these guys are getting in the stock saw.
So do they make a timing system that shoots more than 120 frames per second?
Yeah, we need another digit. We need another decimal point.
fifth and final heat of the stock saw. Let's bring him out, Mark Boquin, and our returning overall champion, Jason Lentz.
Our top two qualifiers in the stock saw, they got a time to shoot at. Adam Lethko's 10.87, 1/100th of a second faster than second place Walt Page.
Warm up your saws.
Boquin on stand one, Lentz on two.
Athletes ready.
Send to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Boquin with that one-handed Matt Slingerland style grab. Jason Lentz right there as well. Boquin clearly ahead of the switch. Jason Lentz diving the nose of the bar back in to try to catch him.
Oh, he may have run him down.
He does. Boquin got just a little greedy at the top of that block, trying to rip it off, and it just didn't work.
Both competitors, stick around, guys.
I'm going to get that win to Jason Lentz. Mark Boquin taking the
What
lead,
a
coming off
great
that first
reel
cut.
him in
Very
from
quickly,
behind for Jason Lentz. We don't have the official times yet for these both these competitors yet, but everybody under a second.
Good job, gentlemen. Both cuts are good.
I know you're in the first seat of standing block. We'll get this done real quick. Trouble last year. You DQ'd the underhand. It kept you from getting into the finals. How are you feeling this year going into the new semifinal round?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm trying to keep, focused, keep a clean head, and just relax and have a good time. I'm having some other issues I'm working through, but I'm doing good right now. So I'm just trying to have fun and do the best I can do.
Go cut that standing block. Good luck, buddy.
Let's have a quick look here at that run for Mark Boquin. All systems go at the start. A very nice, clean, thin first disc that takes some of the pressure off the rivets and the side plates of the chain. A nice, clean second cut here, but watch like the last, we'll call it the eighth of the block here, and you can see his left arm, you see that elbow come up, and he's just reefing up through there a little bit, stops the chain dead. You've got to pull that move, but you got to pull that move at the right time, and he was just a little premature on there, stuffed up that chain, and that sent him back in the field quite a bit. But when you're working in a field where all 10 competitors are within 1 second of each other, from first to 10th, you've got to gamble.
Official time for Jason Lentz, 11.44. For Mark Boquin, 11.54. The 10.87 by Adam Lethko is going to be the top time in the stock saw. Well, we got 2 of our disciplines under our belt here, and our 10 competitors looking forward to the third one. The third one is critical. We have to lose 2 competitors after that one. The 2 bottom finishers after 3. That is what's coming up next with the standing block.
STIHL, the name you love and trust, is at acehardware.com. From chainsaws to edgers, trimmers to blowers, Ace has the STIHL equipment you need. Just pick your power. From gas to battery, STIHL has you covered at acehardware.com.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach, and why over 10,000 local steel dealers are putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Not everyone can say that, but we can. Made in America. Real steel. Find yours.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
We are bringing out the Axis once again for our second chopping event, the standing block chop. Big round of applause for heat number 1, Mike Ash and Mark Bo Quinn.
Mark Bo Quinn, third place in the underhand chop. Mike Esch was fourth place in the stock saw. Esch on the left, Bo Quinn on the right, and here we go.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Bo Quinn getting bounced back a little bit on that opening blow. I don't know if that block was a little firmer than he thought or just didn't place that hit well. Bo Quinn's got that front opened up. Ash, once again, exercising his patented patience, getting a beautiful, clean, scripted front end. Bo Quinn looking to drive that far. Oh, one more round of chips for Bo Quinn. Near, middle, far. Mark Bo Quinn drives it off.
Gobbling up those steel points, tearing apart that standing block. Mike Ash not that far behind.
Great looking cut over there for for Mike Ash on stand number 1, but no match for Mark Bo Quinn. Just so much horsepower on stand number 2.
Has a mission today, and that is to get to the finals.
Both cuts are good.
Like this sport, when you show up to compete, you have to bring about $20,000 worth of equipment. A lot of that equipment is in hand ground axes. A lot of people at home don't realize you're one of the best axe grinders the world's ever seen. When you reach into your axe box for this standing block, how do you know which one to use?
Well, in this event, I figured the wood was going to be a little bit firm, so I was trying to get an axe to be free. And I wish the axe was cutting pretty good. You know, axe grinding is a numbers game. Got to get a lot of them to get a really good one. I got a few good ones.
Tell us real quick, what's the perfect angle to cut this white pine?
Well, it varies on how hard they are. Like when this stuff's pretty firm, you want to get a good, close to 45-degree slope on it.
How about the angle of the axe edge?
Well, the edge I can't tell you. But
I knew you were going with that. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted, and you dodged the question. You knew I was talking about axe edges.
Yeah, I mean, the axes are generally 14 degrees, but the edge angles are a bit proprietary.
Thanks, Mike.
Sure.
We might make that his new nickname, Mike Proprietary Ash, as he wades into the front side of the standing block here as we take a look down the far side of the stage with Mark Bo Quinn here in the near ground. Once again, Mike Ash, along with his axe grinding, is a chopping fanatic in terms of technique and presentation. Some have criticized him for maybe being a little too technical. Let it fly once in a while. Pick up that axe speed for maybe the sake of an errant blow once in a while. Here's the backside of Mark Bo Quinn's block. You can see that Mark is just giving everything he has. Look at those up hits. See that dish or that scoop? That is him just squeezing the life out of that axe handle, trying to shovel it into that block.
Heat number 2 of the standing block, Wolf Page and Grant Foreman. And Walt Page on stand number 1 is what Kevin and I were just talking about. Watch the axe presentation of Walt Page, an absolute scientist, disassembling these 30 centimeter logs just around 12 inches. But Grant Foreman riding that wave of confidence that brought him into the finals in 2021.
Mark Boquin's official time at 23.62 is the time to beat if you want to spend some time atop the leaderboard and standing block.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Page on the left.
Right together on the go. Grant Foreman, though, doing maybe just I was about to say doing a little cleaner job. Grant just stepped down that face. You see that big ledge of wood? That may have been intentional. If he's got a better block than he thought he did at the start, he may have shrunk that face down. That also may have been an errant blow. Once again, as expected, great axe presentation from Walt Page, but Grant Foreman has the recipe for this chop, coming in right around 20 seconds flat.
Grant Foreman seemed to have the shorter, more compact blow, delivering a lot of force nonetheless than Walt Page. Longer swing, but I guess the situation dictates which style works best, and it worked best for Foreman this time.
Yeah, the situation dictates it, and also your body style dictates that. If you have a long, lanky design, that's going to greatly influence
Both
your
cuts
swing.
are good.
Great win in that heat of the standing block chop. So much pressure going up against Walt Page. We built him up, and it was as if you wanted to close the announcers' mouths and say, hey, I'm going to win this event. Tell us what it was like to cut against Walt, and tell us how is the shoulder feeling.
Shoulder's feeling good. I had a little bit of trouble in the offseason. I didn't get to train like I wanted to, but it feels good today. Little adrenaline helps. But to cut against Walt Page and some of these guys that are out here, it's amazing. I have a feeling there'll be quite a few beat that time, but should be mid-pack.
Thanks, Grant.
Thank you.
Well, let's go back and have a look at his predicted mid-pack finish. He opens 1-1, goes in and attacks those corners. I'm kind of feeling now at this point he may have stepped that down a little bit on purpose, shorted that front to get those chips to release a little bit. Maybe figured out he had a better block than he thought coming out of the gate. Goes into the backside of this block. You can see Walt Page in the background in that patented wide open, long, lanky swing. Grant, though, finds that last fiber, just punches it in the guts right on that little corner sticking out, drives it to the stage. Great look at his finish up right there in the middle, just begging to be cut. That little point of wood, somewhere in there was the final fibers, that little fistful of matchsticks holding that block together.
Third heat of the standing block chop. Give it up for Tyler White and Alex Storm.
Tyler White needs to get a move on here. He's finished down near the bottom his first two events here. And Alex Storm, well, he had a little bit better result in the underhand, but a not good finish in the stock saw. Both of these guys need to put up a good time here.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
That last chance to grab STIHL overall points before we say goodbye to our bottom two competitors. Tyler White, bit of a stuck axer on a couple of blows in the top of that block. Wow, a huge wall of cuttable wood. If Jason Wynyard is watching, there's our wall of shame, buddy. It's just there begging to be cut. You look at stand number 2, though, Storm drives through. This is where Tyler White's going to pay for that. Not a bad finish for Tyler White, despite having a whole bunch of cuttable wood in the front side of that block.
So much pressure on the stage today. A lot of times the muscles just override the line. Sometimes the lines just stay in the front, keep chopping, but the muscle memory sends you around. Alex Storm taking advantage of that.
Pretty handy time to come up with a good low time in the standing block for Alex Storm.
And what an accomplishment for Alex Storm, just to be on this stage, be in this, well, make it this far, be in the semifinals, and even be part of the conversation to advance and make this cut.
Definitely got a shot at it. Can't tell what's going to happen in the last 2 heats, but he's looking good now.
Both cuts are good.
Alex still smiling out here. This is a semifinal round. And even Jason Lentz, our returning champion, said to me after the first round, he said, that is the most difficult round, is that quarterfinal round. He said, once we get to the semifinals, I start to have fun. That's coming from Jason Lentz. How you feeling in the semifinal round?
Yeah, I feel great, Dave. Missed a few hits on my standing block, but I stuck with the pattern. Ended up putting a good back into that log. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to pick up some points when I can. Yeah, Jason's right. It's a lot of stress in that early quarterfinal round. You put in a lot of time, hours, years to get to that point, and it all comes down to your competing on that day. And if you're not on, you're not going to make it through. So
thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, let's take a look at how this went for Alex Storm. What a great run. Things got a little overlappy, a little sloppy here in the front side, especially on those up hits. You could see him kind of pounding some hits in the same location, then he gets pinched in on the front side. Had a good stick and had the wherewithal to bail on it. There again in the background, not to just keep picking on the guy, but Tyler White, you know, felt the pressure. He's on this stage. He wants to go. And again, a lot of cuttable wood in the front side of that block. There's just a lot of chips begging to be on the stage at that point.
Good result for Alex Storm there. A 19.55 officially puts him on top.
Fourth heat is standing block. Big round of applause for Josh Wilson and Matt Slingerland. Hey, Kevin, you got our time to beat. Kevin and Tommy, you got a time to beat in the standing block? 19.55, the time to beat. Normally, I would call this race for Slingerland, but Josh Wilson has just found more this year. This will be a tight race.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
We talked about it at the start of the show. I'm watching Matt Slingerland. Is this the year? Is this the year he becomes our STIHL Timbersports champion? Josh Wilson says, not on my watch. Look at the far side of that stage. Wilson around to the back of that block. Exceptionally fast. Did he get the job done? He goes near, far, there it is. Unbelievable. Hats off to Josh Wilson. Coming in under 19 seconds, around 18.35. It's going to put him in, should be our winner of the standing block chop. Not just a winner of that heat, that is a whole bunch of steel points in his pocket.
Josh Wilson, he just continues to impress us.
Both cuts are good.
Last time I called an event for you, it was the U.S. trophy event, an endurance event. Ironically, you and Maddie went head to head. You got the best of Maddie. You taking it personally, Maddie, out here? You picking on him because you just won that heat and you are unofficially in the lead.
Yeah, no, I'm not picking on Maddie. That block turned into a hero log real quick. I was going for a clean 8 and 8, and as soon as I opened up, I was like, okay, let's go for 6 and turn. So I think it was 6 or 7, but yeah, I mean, it was just too good a wood to not try, and something were good. So
you took full advantage of it. Great job.
Thanks.
Here's another look at the head-to-head matchup. Maddie Slingerland on the far side there. You can see didn't get the chip that he wanted in the front side of that log. Has one hanging there. Has to kind of work around it. That definitely put the brakes on the chop. Josh Wilson wasn't waiting around for anything. Draws a big chip. What a great setup. Nice open face on the backside. Goes in and attacks those corners near and far wall. Left a little bit of wood hanging there on the near side. Had to go back and pick it up. Punches it once in the middle, off. goes the block.
Boy, a lot of acceleration in those hits right there for Josh Wilson. He takes over the top spot in the standing block chop. Official time of 17.96 for Matt Slingerland, a 22.31. Matt's in fourth.
Fifth and final heat of the standing block chop. Adam Lethgo on your left and the returning overall champion, Jason Lentz.
Tommy, we played a piece earlier today, and we've played it a few times, an interview with Jason Lentz, where he says, well, if it was all about brute force, I would win 98% of the events, or 95% of the events out here, but it's not. There's so much mental effort that goes into this, and this battle, this heat, to me, sums that up so perfectly. You put Adam Lethgo and Jason Lentz back to back, it looks like you should be in two different sports.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
But watch the outcome here. Watch Lethgo leverage every ounce of power he's got and cut this as smart as possible. Jason Lentz just thumping hits in. Great looking front face from Jason Lentz. He's got all the job done on the front side block. Low driver, he came in too low. He's low again. Jason Lentz is in trouble. He's gonna pull it together though. That was Jason Lentz's chop to give away, and he almost did exactly that. 2 errant blows in the backside of that block. I can't wait for the replay on this. Not that I want to pick on the guy, but he knows the problem. He came in low 2 times in a row, drove the stump, got absolutely nothing out of it. He had, I would say, probably 2 seconds he could have shaved off that time.
Both cuts are good.
Yeah, we're talking, Adam. Adam, you know, you can only do so much in this sport. You can get your equipment ready. You can build up physicality. But being on this stage, tell us about the art of believability, knowing you can make it to the finals, because you won your quarterfinal pool quite easy.
Yeah, I had a really good day. Things kind of came together for me. My plan that I set up for that quarterfinal pool really worked well for me. Today, I kind of misread the wood a little bit, set things up a tiny bit wrong. Thought these standing blocks were going to be pretty soft, and the underhand's firm. It turned out to be the opposite. So, still got a lot to learn on reading the wood a little bit better.
So much going on filming this, so much behind the scenes. The production truck asked me to see if you'll sing Rocky Top. How
about this? I'll sing Rocky Top if I make it in the hot saw.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that. Thanks, Adam.
Well, here's another look at Jason Lentz in the foreground, Adam Lethgo in the background. Beautiful cut going on here for Jason Lentz as he opens up the front of this block. Just a tiny bit of a step down in the back, but he's got a good job done as he works his way into the backside of the block. I hope the camera angle can switch around, because the trouble really was on the far side as he goes to try to drive this off. There you see him hitting near. There was the first one. You see the point of the axe down below the cut. It may have been the second one, actually. There was at least 1 or 2 hits on the far side of that block where he was coming in just too low. There we go. There's the angle we want to see that Jason probably doesn't want to see. Punched it a couple of times down in low, comes back, gets it up high enough, drives through into the fresh air on the far side. I know he's going to clean that up before he moves on into the finals.
Well, Jason Lentz, official time now, an 18.89, lands him in second place in the standing block chop final score. Adam Lethgo, the Tennessee Volunteer, with a 22.69, good enough for sixth. So let's take a look now at our overall points. Cumulative points decide whether or not you pass on to the championship. Got to be in the top 8 to go on to the next stage of competition here And there we see them right there lined up. Matt Slingerland. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. Matt Slingerland. Jason Lentz, they're still shuffling the deck on me up there. Slingerland, Lentz, Wilson, Foreman, Lethko, Page, Storm, and Boquin. Two great competitors, Mike Esch and Tyler White. We hate to say goodbye to them. Congrats to them for getting this far. But we are down to 8, and when it's all over, we will be down to 6. 2 more disciplines to go before we cut the field one more time. Coming up next, we bring out the saws again, the old misery whip. The single buck is on the way. We will be right back.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
STIHL, the name you love and trust, is at acehardware.com. From chainsaws to edgers, trimmers to blowers, Ace has the STIHL equipment you need. Just pick your power from gas to battery. STIHL has you covered at acehardware.com.
Less work time, more you time. Count on STIHL to take you there. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Real STIHL. Find yours at over 10,000 local STIHL dealers.
My name is Jason Lentz. I am 36 years old and I'm from Diana, West Virginia. Diana is in the middle of West Virginia, close to the geographical center in the mountains, about an hour and a half north of Charleston. There's no cell phone service here where I live. Quiet, peaceful, deer in my backyard about every day, turkeys. It's pretty country. Diana is a really small town. I have a church that I live beside, an elementary school, which is our community center now, and a little diner about a mile up the road where you can go to Webster Springs or to Holly River State Park. I run into people that I've known my entire life, kids I went to school with, parents. It's a pretty tight-knit community. Everybody that I see at the diner or around the community, they always ask me what the next competition is, what my next journey is. My mother's side of the family, the Cools, own a farm just about a mile down the road. It's been in the family since 1826, I believe. Years ago, the Webster County Woodchopping Festival, it was started here in Diana. My great-grandfather on my mother's side actually was an auctioneer and started the competition. I come from the longest living name in the sport in the United States. I'm a 4th-generation competitor, dating back from the early 30s. My great-grandfather, grandfather, dad, now me.
3, 2, 1, go!
So it's running through this block. Oh my God. Jason Lentz set up an impressive time. Jason seemed focused, seemed motivated. Quick to the wood is Jason Lentz.
Sports in my blood. My dad, he's known as the king of lumberjacks. He's pretty much dominated the sport in the early 80s
Melvin's going for the drive already.
He's an 18-time world champion, won the Sydney world title, won the single buck down there 5 times, so he holds 6 world title events, which is the most coveted competition in the world. That was the 2021 U.S. champion.
The 2021 U.S. STIHL Timbersports champion, Jason Lentz.
I got 6-time STIHL Timbersports champion. They call you the king. Your son just won his first timber sports title. How you feeling, buddy?
Oh, I'm feeling so happy for him. You know, he's worked so hard to get to this point, and I'm really happy to see him win the championship today.
Tell us what your father's been doing for you, helping you out.
Oh, he does all my chains. He's been stoning my saws. He's learning to file saws. He edges my axes, helps me train every single day that I want to train. He's good pit crew. That was the 2021 World STIHL Timbersports champion. I won the U.S. trophy event, first year having it this year.
Your U.S. STIHL Timbersports trophy champion, Jason Lentz.
I ended up second at the World Championships. So, yeah, just trying to live the dream.
I am Cassidy Shear, and I am from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Personal highlight of my timber sports career was the entire 2019 season.
Thanks, everybody. Woo!
I won my first U.S. championship in only my 3rd year in STIHL Timbersports.
Minnesota, Cassidy Shear.
But here he is. Look at this race between Cassidy Shear and Nate Hodges.
It's a good cut, Cassidy. Good STIHL championship points. This guy's in the race.
Oh, that's a good cut, though, for Cassidy Shear.
And congratulations, you will be representing the United States at the World Championships, Cassidy Shear. Yo-ho!
And I followed that up with a silver medal at the World Championships in Prague.
Cassidy Shear taking down the silver medal.
The biggest setback of my lumberjack sports career, I guess, would be the current situation right now. I'm at the top of my game, and taken a year off. I haven't maybe been training as much as I should, and will have to work extra hard to get back on top of my game for next year. But my situation is not unique. We're all going through the same thing.
I was going to run the hot saw. Your kids aren't sleeping or anything, are they?
They are already up for the nap, so that'd be perfect time.
Okay.
So my family is involved in lumberjack sports entertainment. We have 3 outdoor theaters in the upper Midwest of the USA where we put on exhibition lumberjack shows. So loss of that and timber sports means a lot more time with family and doing hobbies I enjoy, such as steelhead fishing and mushroom foraging. I would tell the timber sports community and other athletes to keep in mind that this is only one year that we can get together and compete, and we're a strong community and we love our sport, so keep training, stay positive, and this is a stressful time for everybody, so be nice and kind to people as much as you can.
Take it, boy! Oh, my God! Record! That's dead even at this point, though. Holy smokes, folks. It's the fastest time so far today. That was... Oh, he's got it! He's got it! Robert Abner, 3 on the deck! Jason Wynyard! Sitting on the ground running, it comes down
I've had a competition nearly every weekend all year.
Logging has been practiced for thousands of years across many countries and cultures. Today, no one is quite sure how logging as a sport was born. According to one version, its origins date back to 1870 in Ulverstone, Tasmania. The result of a $50 bet between two lumberjacks keen to pitch themselves against each other in chopping trees. So the sport's roots go back to when logging was all about manual labour. The world's first documented Loggers Sports Championship took place in 1891 in Latrobe in Tasmania. The parallels between then and now are unmistakable. The competitors use similar tools and the techniques across many disciplines remain the same.
Both cuts are good.
Like the underhand shot. The standing block chop.
When these fellows have climbed to the top,
the springboard.
They chop through 18 inches of Australian hardwood.
And the single buck.
If there's any timber left in Canada if they go through it at this rate.
It might look like a sport dominated by men, but women have been involved from the outset. The sport may have begun in Australia, but things have clearly moved on since then. Today's competitions are held in international and unique locations and are now attended by athletes from all over the world. The athletes' performance and skills, along with the technology, have made huge leaps forward since the inception. Thanks to international competition and the sport turning professional globally, performance is today at an unprecedented level.
11:75, a personal best for Lawrence and your new current leader. What a battle between these two warriors. Here we go. Oh, it's Meyer. DeLosa's top is loose and DeLosa gets it. Wow.
Tommy, they have an 18-inch log. They have 4 inches to make 2 cuts, 1 down and 1 up. Hands on the log, saw, sitting on the ground.
1985 marked the start of the STIHL Timbersports series in the USA. The setup initially needed to find its feet. The first media presence in Wisconsin in the USA saw the level of the athletes rise a notch. And the series produced the first greats of the sport, such as Arden Kogel Jr.
That's the best stand block I've cut all year. Melvin's beat me at every show this year except one, and today.
Well, do you have some momentum going to Florida?
I think I'm starting to come right. I think I'm finally starting to come right.
Through its collaboration with the US sports channel ESPN, STIHL Timbersports has established itself as a sports series and produced some true legends of logger sports.
He's perfectionist. His effectiveness was always because he knew what he was doing.
He would look like he was asleep. He had this gift of lowering his blood pressure.
David Bolstead's my name, and I'm from the North Island of New Zealand.
He was probably the best relay cutter I ever had the pleasure of competing with.
All 6 events is absolutely incredible. Will we ever see somebody do that ever again? I highly doubt it.
They started calling him the professor.
Plainly, this guy is a professor.
After Matt Bush and the New Zealand professor, another icon of the sport stood out, the New Zealander, Jason Wynyard.
Jason Wynyard.
Jason Wynyard. Jason Wynyard.
Jason Wynyard. Jason Wynyard is Mr. Timbersports.
Mr. Timbersports, Jason Wynyard has dominated the international competition since 2009.
It's great to beat Jason in 2013 and to come out of Stuttgart that year, and it's a dream come true and probably, the highlight of my career.
Who's it going to be, Wynyard or DeLosa? It's DeLosa getting through. Wow, best time for DeLosa. 8.25 is definitely fast enough.
I was very pleased with some of the wins that I had along the way. Yeah, it's been a long road coming back.
But Jason Wynyard came back stronger.
The defending world champ DeLosa up against the 5-time world champ Wynyard. Wynyard just hammering away at it. He gets it in 14.77. What a win for Wynyard here.
The very next year, he regained his world championship title, and so began a new series of successes.
He's always been a gracious winner. Like, he's never, tell you how good he is. He's showed you how good he is. It's always, don't tell me, show me. And he showed everyone how good he is by winning Timbersports 9 times,
Going into the single buck event, let's bring out our first two athletes in the single buck, Mark Boquin and Alex Storm. Mark Boquin on your left has the fastest qualifying time coming into the semifinal round today. Watch closely. I won't be surprised if he wins this event early on in the first heat. Alex Storm still alive, coming in his first year, making it to the semifinal round of Timbersports, and he's made it past that cutoff. He's got a level on the side of his saw that is totally legal, helping him get that $3,000 single buck saw perpendicular to that log. These competitors are cutting a 46-centimeter log. But watch the man to the left, Mark Boquin, 300 pounds of single bucking ability. It's just awesome to watch this guy cut.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Keep an eye
on Mark Boquin on the left. Big guy Mark Boquin on stand number 1, getting his handle up over top of that saw. Needs to draw the nose of that saw back in. He's got a lot of cutting going on, but a lot more cutting he could do. At 12:04, a really solid cut for Boquin. He's got more in the tank, though. We've seen him cut faster than that for sure.
But well in the 11 seconds, probably 11.5. And maybe Waterfield is saying that is a good cut. We're going to wait for the official time from head judge Rich Allen. And Alex Storm not far behind.
Both cuts are good.
Mark, let's rewind a little bit. You entered on the wood chopping team at Paul Smith's College when you studied up in the Adirondacks. Your physicality helped you climb and finish the Appalachian Trail in 99 days, part of only the 1% club. Absolutely. You train with a weighted vest, an oxygen restrictor. Do you need all that to crush the single buck like you've been doing?
I mean, all the training helps, but as you can see, that was about 60 pounds ago. I had heart surgery in January, so I'm still kind of fighting back from that. But all the training helps. The more you train, the better. And I just love that event, and I train as much as I can.
You're just dominating around the country. Double points you're going to receive if you win this event. You think that time will hold up?
I'm not sure. There's some really good single buckers in this pool. And that block was a little tight, so we'll see what happens. There's a lot of good single buckers here.
Well, you're going to have to cut a springboard coming up. We're going to let you rest up. Thanks for the interview, Mark.
We'll have another look at that run from Mark Boquin. There he is on stand number 1. We've seen him do it faster, a solid cut, but I think there, like Dave said, and like Mark will admit, there was a little bit left in the tank. Nice, clean run, consistent run, good time. He's got more to go, though.
Second heat of the single buck. Let's bring them out. Walt Page and Adam Lethko.
Good stock saw for Walt Page today. Not his best effort, not his favorite effort in the underhand chop. Standing block was middle of the road. He needs to go ahead and show us what he can do here. Adam Lethko is one position ahead of him in total points.
Hey, Kevin and Tommy, you have a time to beat up there?
I do have that. That time to beat is 11.79.
11.79. This will be a tight race. Adam Lethko just surprised me with his unbelievable ability to run these single buck saws, throwing his whole body into it. Walt Page.
Athletes ready.
Timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Well, Adam Lethko on stand number 2 came out with a vinyl glove or a latex glove on. I think that was to keep the oil off his hands, but then his hand was all sweaty. You see him wiping on his pants. Great form, though, from Adam Lethko as he powers through. He'll be pushing off on that straw.
Wow,
I can't believe Walt Page just reeled him in at the bottom. I kind of tuned Walt Page out about the 2/3 mark on that one, but he really picked it up at the bottom of the log. So they are taking a look at that cut from not from Nate Waterfield. Nate Waterfield's taking a look at that cut from Walt Page. You saw that disc come apart in a couple of pieces. It was a broken cookie. He did cut the entire thing. Nate gave him the thumbs up.
Both cuts are good.
Are we sensing Rocky Top? Is it happening today?
We're getting ever so much closer, Dave. Step by step, event by event.
Well, Walt Page, he didn't need to win that. You know how Walt Page can cut a springboard. He's putting his saw away right now. We're going to let him go. But his ability to climb 4 hits in the bottom, 4 hits in the top pocket makes him so enjoyable to watch. So we can't wait to see Walt Page coming up in the springboard. But in just a moment, we're going to get you all the way to Heat 3 already. We are just flying through this single buck. Coming up, we'll announce them momentarily. But Mark Boquin, I think his time is...
Well, here's a look at Adam Lethko and his run on stand number 2. We mentioned how he had the glove on, kind of protecting his hand from the oil, but then was worried about sweat. Grip is so critical on these handles, and too much grip is a huge problem. Lethko driving through the bottom of the block. I can't believe how well Walt Page reeled him in at the bottom of that cut.
Adam Lethko, official time of 14.65. Walt Page in 4th place with a 15.12. Lethko in 2nd.
Let's bring out the 3rd heat of the single buck. Grant Foreman and Josh Wilson. Josh Wilson coming off the high from winning that standing block chop. He's going to measure his feet here. They've got 1 minute to set their saw, measure their feet, get fully prepared to run this misery whip through 46 centimeters of wood. Josh Wilson taking every advantage he can of this 1 minute warm-up time. He's even put a level on his saw. Alex Storm using that same technique. But Grant Foreman, watch him. He tore up the single buck last year. Those points propelling him into the final round. I'm going to give a slight advantage to Foreman on your left in this heat.
See the level of preparation going in here. Josh Wilson counting teeth, making sure he's got that handle the exact right distance.
Athletes ready.
Block.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Foreman versus Wilson. Here we go, head to head. Josh Wilson has been just bringing another gear in terms of axe speed, and it's translating to saw speed. He's looking ahead down here through the bottom. Wow. Foreman's gonna be about 2 pushes behind. Another great close race. That run from Boquin's looking better and better. That 11.79 turns out to be really tough to beat. Boquin had made the assessment that the wood was a little bit stiff or wasn't quite what he thought it was, and I think maybe that time was better than I had anticipated.
Josh having a good day here. Grant as well. 2 guys are hanging in there well.
Both cuts are good.
You know, Josh, when you have somebody like Mark Boquin laying down an 11-7, and you know you have to get steal points, you want to make it into the final, are you thinking of that 11-7? Are you able to block that out, just do your job, and win that heat?
Yeah, I don't think about Mark at all. He's been kicking my butt all year long, so I let him do his thing, I do my thing, and I'm usually pretty close, but it is what it is. I just do my own thing.
Well, you know, you won the standing block chop. You know the heartbeat is a thumping. How do you relax yourself to make such a beautiful cut in the single?
I just let my mind go blank. Just think about, I don't even think about the muscle mechanics. I just let them do their thing. So it's just a blank mind and go.
Great cut. Good luck at the springboard coming up.
Thank you.
Well, here's another look at that run from Josh Wilson. Officially a 12.85, coming about 1 second behind Mark Boquin. Again, he's found that over the past year, he's found that extra gear, that pace has come. It's a great progression. Get the technique right, then bring the speed.
Josh Wilson in second place.
Fourth and final heat of the single buck, Jason Lentz and Matt Slingerland. Well, if there's any two competitors that can best the 11-7 of Mark Boquin, it's one of these two gentlemen. Jason Lentz, so powerful, 265 pounds, and Matt Slingerland with the speed you need, and he's won this single buck. He won it back here in Little Rock 2021, nursing that elbow injury. He says he's back. Regardless, this will be an incredible race to watch.
Again, the time to beat an 11.79 by Mark Boquin. This event is officially titled Single Buck Without Assistant. You may have noticed that, you fans, through the years of timber sports, the familiar wedging and oiling. Personage accompanying the sawyer is not there this time around. It's a little bit of a different game.
Ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1. Go!
Lentz and Slingerland, multi-generational names synonymous with the sport. Matty Slingerland with an uncharacteristic bobble. There it is again. Now he's trying to push it too hard. Jason Lentz at the bottom, also a bobble. Neither one of these guys are going to touch the time of Mark Boquin.
Be safe. A hang from Slingerland at the top of the log. A hang by Lentz in the bottom corner.
I think what we just witnessed, Tommy, was both of these guys gunning for that time. They were both pushing for those last tenths and hundredths of a second. They were both pushing for that sub 12-second time. They've seen it done here today. They know they're capable of it, and it just didn't come together.
Both cuts are good.
Matty Slingerland, a little mishap at the top. You know, you put so much pressure on yourself. I guess that's going to be a question. In 2021, your goal was to go undefeated. You came in to the semifinals and the finals here in Little Rock. You won both races. Is there a lot of pressure on yourself to repeat that feat in 2022, especially with an injured elbow?
No, Dave, I don't feel a lot of pressure. Saw was just a little too aggressive for that wood. Be easy to change it up for tomorrow, so just take a note of it and move on.
I want to give a shout out to who's making all the noise up there in the stand.
Yeah, of course, Cassandra, everybody that came for us. Love you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, here's another look. There's Jason Lentz as he's working his way down through the block. You watch as he gets down into the smaller part of the timber here, hangs a raker somewhere coming up about the next two pushes here. Or further at the bottom. There it is. I guess it was right down towards the bottom when you really got in the small wood. You also see a little bit of red ring around the bottom of that block. A little bit of tougher timber when you see that red color change.
Jason Lentz with that time officially 12.66. Takes second place in the single buck, leaving Mark Boquin as our winner there. And Matt Slingerland, not the cut he wanted, with a 15.22 officially. or overall standing, steel points. That's what takes you to the finals here. And we see Jason Lentz on top of that one right there. Josh Wilson up there not too far back. Mark Boquin, Grant Foreman, Adam Lefko, Matt Slingerland, Alexander Storm, Walt Page. We're going to take it down 2 more competitors after this next discipline, springboard chop.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
STIHL, the name you love and trust, is at acehardware.com. From chainsaws to edgers, trimmers to blowers, Ace has the STIHL equipment you need. Just pick your power. From gas to battery, STIHL has you covered at acehardware.com.
Big league performance in your backyard with battery power made by STIHL. Our AK home motor system starts at just $199.99. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find yours at over 10,000 local STIHL dealers.
My name is Matt Koger. I'm 35 years old and I'm from Grafton, West Virginia. I've won the STIHL Timbersports national title 6 times in a row.
U.S. STIHL Timbersports champion, Matt Koger!
Silver medalist at the World Championships 3 times. I've won the World Trophy event, and I'm also a record holder in that event now, as well as a world record holder in the standing block.
For a time better than 12:33. Let's see if we can make it. Take it, boy! Oh my God! Record! Gets the world record by a bullet with an 11.31 after the adjustment. An amazing hit on that block from Matthew Kogar.
And I have several national records to my name.
Wow.
A really common question I get asked is, there's all these other sports, why in the world would you do timber sports? And I honestly can't tell you, other than just I love the roots of it and it's in my blood, and that's kind of just what I like to do, and it's definitely been a journey.
These guys want that title. Oh, Matt Koger.
To do what I do, like getting up in the morning, going, working out, working to get the timber in to train on, it all adds up. I think that's the whole crux of the whole thing, is you got to be disciplined enough to do what you do, and you're not going to win without that discipline or consistency. So this season, I've been trying to focus a little bit more on skill set training. Been working really hard with like conditioning and stuff like that. Been doing a little bit of PT work on my low back area. 23 years of doing this kind of wears on you a little bit. Trying to create a little bit of a longevity so I can continue doing the sport that I love. You got to be fit. You got to have the skills, and so really I'm just trying to stay on top of that and do the best I can to build that in as a good foundation. A lot of my success does come from like that mindset of I'm only there to compete against myself. It's me versus the wood. That's my own mantra. But there's something that really drives me to basically like say, no, I'm still the top dog. You know, like I laid down a world record cut at our national trophy. I did that for a reason.
What a cut by Matt Coger.
Timber sports is a very skill-oriented, skill-first athletic endeavor. So I need to make the most of my training. I'm just always trying to find the ideal mix of mastering technique and the mechanics of each one of those disciplines. You know, getting proper mechanics on your single buck stroke or your swing with the axe will give you more power than being strong or being fast ever will.
Cassidy Shear switch hitting, not just taking slashing hits, but actually using a full swing. There it is, Cassidy Shear.
So I'm constantly trying to make sure that my mechanics are completely dialed in and are efficient. I spend a lot of time working on my gear, optimizing it, making sure that it's cutting correctly. And then I also place a very large emphasis on training that I do in the gym to actually develop the ideal amount of athleticism. I have a training program that really focuses on speed and explosive power. You know, certainly all the work I do in here does transfer over to what I'm able to accomplish on the stage.
Cassidy's an exceptional all-around athlete.
It's kind of a constant battle trying to figure out, you know, what's the right amount of event training, what's the right amount of, you know, physical training, being as fast and as strong and as agile as possible. All of our events should be done in 20 seconds or less, and the Springboard's only about 50 if I'm doing it right.
Thank you, sir. A 47.69 showing on the unofficial time.
And then once you do have the technique dialed in, that extra power, strength, physicality can really be the edge that makes a difference in a tight race. Yet at the same time, you know, being a better athlete naturally puts you in a better position to have good mechanics. So, you know, I keep on dialing that in, but it's always a constant game of, you know, thinking, how can I best optimize my abilities?
Cassidy Shear passes Jason Lentz in the bottom of the log.
Final chopping of the day, event of the day is the Springboards. Bring out heat number 1, Mark Boquin and Alex Storm. Now we saw some short videos of the Springboard. These competitors will be chopping 2 pockets to ascend this tree. They're going to stand on the top board about 6 to 7 feet in the air to chop that 27-centimeter log, the most difficult event in timber sports around the world. An efficient pocket happens in 4 to 6 hits. Some of the best competitors will accomplish it in 4 on the bottom pocket, 4 on the top, but the boards must be level to slightly uphill so they can generate power from the legs. Some of the best athletes will be hitting the log in right around 20 seconds.
Athletes ready.
For timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Boquin on 1, Storm on 2. Our opening heat of the Springboard discipline. They're putting a hopefully 4 to 6 hit pocket in that tulip poplar bowl, working their way to the second board set, and then eventually up to that white pine block at the top. Clean pockets is critical. We've seen some rough pockets in some of the divisions. Storm's got some great board sets looking, great uphill slope that's settling down, giving him lots of momentum. You see Boquin with that opening board is settling a bit. His upper board is sitting really good right now, but he doesn't seem super comfortable with it. That may settle down a little bit as well. He seems kind of pinched in on it. Storm is looking in great shape with a great board set. He is back off of that block. Tons of extension, tons of power. Great clean cut as he works his way around to the back. We'll look for 3 to 4 slashing blows. There's 2, 3, 4. He's looking a little bit high. There's number 5. Looking for that fiber. Can't find it. Time ticking away. There it is.
Gets it in unofficially just under a minute, and that's what the doctor ordered for Alex Storm. Really needs a good result here.
Boquin's board on the top also showing same symptoms as his first board did. A little bit of that downward sag. His right foot is all the way up towards the shoe, getting close to that pole. He's getting a good open front face worked into this. Remember, these competitors are not necessarily switch hitting choppers. They've got to turn around to the far side of this log and cut on their off-handed side. You want to get as much work done on your strong side as possible.
Such a big man. That board just supporting him.
Boquin lifts a chip, puts in one upward blow to clear that chip out. You can see it opens up that window so he can see around to the far side, finds those last fibers.
But Alex Storm's debut in the semifinal Springboard, and what a cut. And perhaps our camera can get a look at that bottom pocket, that shoe like a key in a lock. Just sat perfect. And we're gonna get an interview with Alex Storm, maybe get him to bring his springboards over.
One, two.
I'm with you there. He can't wait to get this interview going. He's walking over saying, that's the best springboard I've cut by 15 seconds. You got 4 hits on the bottom, 6 hits on the top, but they have to be accurate hits, so this clip makes its way to the back of the pocket. Tell us the science of accomplishing those pockets.
Well, as you said earlier, I'm kind of a rookie, so I'm not sure I know the science, but this clip's got a sharp edge on it. You want to make your pocket back to a V in the back. That gives space or a shelf for the clip to grab into, and it holds your weight. If it's too much angle, the board tends to sag down, and then you're working 6-8 inches below where you should be.
Alex, we're hoping to see you advance to the hot saw, which will propel you into the finals. But for now, all you can do is say you had a great day, a great springboard. Sit back and watch. Thanks for being here. Congratulations, and we're going to see you next year.
Appreciate it, Dave. Thanks to everybody for coming out. Thanks to my dad for riding down here with me, and all my friends and family supported me along the way.
There's that run from Alex Storm. Watch that beautiful first board set. Best thing to do after a great first board set, have a great second board set. Put in 2 extra hits just because you're getting a little bit off the ground, and you're going to spend more. Excuse me. You're going to spend more time on that second board set. Put in 6, couple extra insurance hits there. Great position. You can just see the energy that he's getting off that back foot as he lays waste to the front side of this block. Great looking cut from Alex Storm. Look at the massive walls of wood just falling out of the front side of that log. Gets it worked all the way into the back. About the only thing I would change on this cut is the back itself. It's a tough situation. You're slash cutting on the offhanded side. He starts reaching up really nice and high, and he's trying to reach around the far side, but he hasn't gotten the job done on the near side yet. Best thing to do, work that near side, get those fibers severed, and you'll see the top of that block sort of twist a bit and open up a window so you can look towards the back of that block.
And there it is. Alex says the best by 15 seconds, the best springboard he's ever cut. That is a timely happenstance there, and Alex Storm with the lead. After one heat, official time did go over a minute, 1:01.26.
Second heat of the springboard, and it's going to be a beauty. Let's bring them out. Walt Page and Adam Lethko. Two of the fastest springboarders in the business. Walt Page has dominated springboard for years, but the recent arrival of Adam Lethko just tearing it up. This will be not only a race to the top, but this will be one on the ascent, on the pockets, everything. And as Matt Koger would say, it's in stages. The bottom pocket is one stage, throwing the axe in the log another stage, the top pocket. But wow, are they going to be fast to the top of the block. Look for them to be hitting the wood in under 20 seconds. We're just going to take a moment. They've got these sandbags that keep the springboards in place. These competitors are hitting the poles so hard that those boards can actually come loose, and we don't want to be putting any metal fasteners into the dock. So they put a sandbag down, but one of the sandbags sprung a leak, and that happens. So we're going to get a quick replacement and clean off the deck. Get a replacement bag out there to anchor down Walt Page's board. And again, these boards are positioned so precisely. And there you go. Hey, let's give it up for Nathan Waterfield with a spare sandbag. That away.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Walt Page right now is outside the bubble, desperately wants to get inside. This is a great opportunity for him. Adam Lethko just barely inside the bubble and like to work his way towards the middle a little more. Lethko, a great looking board set on his first hole, even though it's listing a little bit. Very quick on that second board set. It's going to file under good enough for Adam Lethko. Toes down, heels up, trouble for Adam Lethko. A huge slab of wood glancing, flying in the air. He's got to regroup, pull himself back together. Remember I said he's just inside the bubble, but not by much. This is a great advancement for Walt Page at the expense of Adam Lethko. That was a huge glancing up blow from Adam Lethko. Fortunately, it looks like he's all right. Walt Page not waiting around 50 seconds. He's looking to drive this off in the back.
Walt Page taking it off under 1 minute. The craziness of timber sports today. Adam Lethko was throwing his whole body into it. He scooped and actually propelled him off the top board. He's finally looking.
Well, what a tumble for Adam Lethko, and Walt Page needs this springboard to be his best finish of the day, and it looks like it may well be.
Well, Adam Lethko waved to the crowd, kind of glad that event's over. Maybe a signal that he's doing okay.
We hope so. He fell a long way.
Not that you want to see any competitor have an issue, absolutely not get injured, but good on Adam Lethko. Landed, I don't know, part cat, I guess it seemed like he landed pretty well. And that was a very tough break, very bad timing for Adam Lethko. This is a discipline that he typically banks on. Great time for him to pick up points, not today.
Both cuts are good.
We're going to see the replay of what happened with Adam Lethko in just a moment. Hopefully we'll get an interview from him. He's smiling, but wow, Adam, if you okay? That is, you know, I was just complimenting you on that top board, how you throw your whole body into it. You've told me how you have to load it, use your core, use your midsection. You took a scoop and really propelled yourself right off that top board.
Yeah, I kind of took a chip to the face or something like that, I think, or hit that chip with the axe and carried everything up a little bit. And I don't know, I guess I'm about to see it right here in a second, but it definitely was a little bit of a doozy. Haven't had a good fall in a while, so everybody needs a reality check.
Thanks, Adam. We'll watch the replay. Thank you.
Well, here is that replay from Adam Lethko. 4 hits in that top pocket. A little bit of a toes down, heels up list to that board. And right around here is where things start to go wrong. He's got a chip hanging in front of the scarf, puts an up hit into that chip, and it just skates right up off the front of that block. Down to the ground goes Lethko, back up quickly again. We have to start calling him cat-like reflexes or something, but he just really got back into the action. Walt Page not waiting around, knows he needs to grab every single steel point he can at this point. It's a great look at the back of Walt Page's block. Upswings, downswings, drawing chips, an off-handed chopper. As we turn our attention back to stand number 2, watch again what happens here for Adam Lethko. There's that loose chip hanging on by just a little bit of fiber, and just terrible timing. That chip swings right back into the path of the axe.
Well, we are so happy that Adam seems to be okay despite that very frightening tumble right there. And Walt Page, his official time of 54.45 is going to put him in first place after 2 heats in the springboard chop. Adam hanging in there in third.
Well, to that point, Tommy, Adam Lethko hanging in there in third. Still ahead of some other competitors, despite an epic crash, gathering himself up, resetting the board, and getting back up there. Just shows you the pace that he was on. Regroups, got back up there, didn't quit on it, is going to pick up some extra points.
Well, Devin, what did we say even when Adam Lethko was in college on his Woodsman's team? We're always ducking a little bit when Adam's on stage.
Yeah.
There's a look at your overall standing, steel points right now with Matt Boquin on top, Mark Boquin, I should say. There's Adam Lethko, man. Well, right now, of course, he's cut, and so he's going to have, these are transitory figures right now as we are right in the middle of this discipline. Jason Lentz, Walt Page, Alex Storm, Josh Wilson, Foreman, Slingerland, Esch and White are gone.
You know you're going to see Adam Lethko. You know we're going to see him in the hot saw, and I'm excited. Why? Is because he holds the fastest hot saw time coming into the semifinal round today.
We're waiting on our next heat, which will be Grant Foreman, Josh Wilson. Got a little setup time yet to go here before we are ready to go with the springboard chop. So we will take ourselves a quick break and we will be right back.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
STIHL, the name you love and trust, is at acehardware.com. From chainsaws to edgers, trimmers to blowers, Ace has the STIHL equipment you need. Just pick your power. From gas to battery, STIHL has you covered at acehardware.com.
Less work time, more you time. Count on STIHL to take you there. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Real STIHL. Find yours at over 10,000 local STIHL dealers.
One more look at this incident with Adam Lethko here, he said, you know, once in a while you need a reality check. If you're a springboard chopper, the reality check can hurt.
Yeah, and very fortunate there wasn't a more serious injury here. This happens standing block chops. It happens in springboards. It happens in several of the different disciplines. You can have that chip partially fall, and it was just hanging there by a thread. But again, you can't say enough about Adam Lethko. He had the wherewithal to get back up, complete the event, grab some more points. He's, at least right now, can't do any worse than second to last in this event, despite that mishap.
Final heat of the springboard. Let's bring them out. Jason Lentz and Maddie Schlingerland. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not there yet. Let's do it again. Grant Foreman and Josh Wilson. Josh is shaking his head at me going, no, Dave, not yet. But Josh Wilson had a heck of a day. And we're going to see if he can carry that momentum through the springboard. He's dying to run his hot saw. And Grant Foreman's been so consistent. And both these athletes chasing some major points in the springboard event. Of course, they know what happened with Adam Lethko. They watched that last heat. And there'll be one more heat after Grant Foreman and Josh Wilson, and we'll talk about them in just a moment. And they're given 1 minute to prepare once they enter the stage.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Grant Foreman really quick on that go, getting every available second. That's been a pattern with him here today. Again, the engineer, the efficiency, not wanting to let any tolerance go to waste. Grant Foreman up 2 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits in this top. He's going to go to 6 and maybe a bit more, even 6 or 8 hits, looking to clean that out. He's not happy with that top pocket. He's going to run it in deep. Josh Wilson with a bit of a stick in that top pocket. That hole is leaning left to right. There, he cleaned it up a little bit on that last hit. There's Grant Foreman in. He's about 2 hits in ahead of Josh Wilson. Josh is a very fast standing block cutter. Watch this swing speed come out. Very clean face for both of these guys. Very, very clean cut from Grant. Again, I hate to just keep picking on his engineering background, but he is a very deliberate cutter. He is, I go back to like Mike Ash and those guys who are just exceptional technicians. They want to disassemble these blocks as cleanly as possible. We got a race on in the back.
Good race.
It is Grant Foreman. He's going to discharge his axe with the block down to the stage. I don't think there's any damage done. I think it stayed kind of safely nestled in the top of that block.
Remember, these are double points now. Springboard and single butt double points. As soon as they make it into the hot saw, if they make it to the hot saw, triple point. Now you can look at the scarf from here. Look at Grant
Tommy, I
Foreman's
keep going
scarf.
back to the
Absolutely
Adam
beautiful.
Lethko story from our last heat. And again, that persistence. Get back in there, get swinging again. Put himself ahead of Josh Wilson.
Both cuts are good.
I think everybody's jaw dropped as much when he went back up there as when he fell. That was just, man, that was a hard one to watch, but what resolve.
My interview, Grant Foreman. Grant walked off the stage. I wanted to talk about him on the front side of that log. He stayed. You know, we say you could take 99% of the wood out, but he had to turn because I think that log was going to split all on its own. I think he was looking. You'll see it on the replay. He quickly turned to keep that log in one piece.
Yeah, Grant struggled a bit on this second pocket. He was 4, then he was 6, then he was 8. You can see there, like looking into the mailbox, you can see there's a letter in there waiting for him. There's a bunch of chips in the back of that hole that he was trying to clean out. There it was. Finally, you see him just discharge out of that pocket. Once he got the board in there, it was a great board set. It would have held a car. And as he gets up here, Dave, you're absolutely right. He did a beautiful job cleaning out the front. Did not leave himself much wood at all for the backside. Pretty much was committed. If he put one extra hit in the front, I don't think that block would have stayed together.
See, watch when he takes his last couple hits, he does a slight pause and says, I better get around to the backside. You'll see it coming up in just a moment in the foreground here.
He's still going. So typically you would end with up hits in that front side. He had put one down hit in, and I think he saw some wiggle or heard a crack or whatever and bailed on that down hit. Said, yeah, that's enough. It's good to go. And that was it right there. You see the heel of the axe actually come through the backside of the log there, and he wisely chose to get out of that thing. You see him. He had to discharge the axe, which was better than discharging himself off that top board.
Grant Foreman's official time, a 1:17:83. 1 minute 17:83 puts him in 4th place, and Josh Wilson right behind with a 1:25.75.
Kevin, 15 years of commentary, and I've never heard looking into a springboard pocket as looking into a mailbox. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. We got to keep it fresh, Dave.
Overall standings with 1 heat remaining there. We see Josh Wilson on top. Great day for him. And Adam Lefko, how about that effort? You can't say enough about his resolve to get back up on that springboard. He's in 2nd place. Of course, we still have one more heat to shake things up a little bit. Grant Foreman in 3rd, Jason Lentz in 4th. Walt Page hanging in there in 5th. Mark Boquin in 6th place.
Hey, Tommy, can you remind us the time to beat, please, going into this final heat?
Yes, the time to beat going into this final heat is Walt Page's 54.45.
Final heat of the springboard. Let's bring them out again. Jason Lentz and Matthew Slingerland. Jason Lentz on your left, currently kicking it overall, leading the race going into the springboard. 54 seconds the time to beat. And these two gentlemen, believe me, can accomplish that feat. Watch Matty Slingerland when we talk about the awkward turn to the backside, going on your backhand. That does not exist with Matt Slingerland. He's so strong on both swings, both backhand and his front hand swing.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
54 seconds.
Jason Lentz looking for every last 10th or 100th of a second. He was right there on the go. Jason Lentz and Matt Slingerland both up on that first board. Slingerland with 4 hits, going to 6, looking to shovel it out. He's going to do 2 more. He's going to go to 8. Both of these guys in sync right now with their climb. Matt Slingerland just 1 or 2 blows ahead. This is where he needs it though, because Jason Lentz is going to work on this pine. Great view of Matt Slingerland on the front side of his block. His chips are just cascading out of there. Running out of cuttable wood, normally a concern, not for Matt Slingerland. Look as he works his way around to the backside. Switch hitting, but Jason Lentz has reeled in and passed him. What a great contrast in styles in that block at the top. Matt Slingerland, again, a very profound switch-hitting chopper. He can cut off both sides nearly at equal pace. Jason Lentz says, no, that's not for me. I'm going to go more traditional. Wades deep into the front side of the block, finishes and slashes off the back.
Both of them unofficially in the top 3 springboard times. Jason Lentz is at 42.55 unofficial time. If that stands or something close to it, he will be the top man in springboard. Matt Slingerland needed a good showing in springboard. Had a terrible time of it in his single buck performance.
Both cuts are good.
Matty, you devote your life to being here, financially, all the equipment. So I always like it when a competitor sticks around after the event and revisits exactly what just happened. You kind of went through your swing motion after the log was severed. You looked at your pockets. What were you revisiting?
Yeah, so I felt pretty uncomfortable on the second board. It was really high up, which normally you think is a good thing, but it's hard to get your balance. So I just should have stepped out a little further on it. And so I was testing that, see how it felt. Same with the bottom pocket. I had a good 4, but it looked iffy to me. It held me long enough to get the second pocket in. I just wanted to test, see if I could get back a little more on it for tomorrow. Just planning ahead.
You just wiped your brow on stage. What is that all about?
Well, yeah, as you can see, I was sitting pretty low there. I knew I needed to get under a minute. Knew I could do it if I just went smooth, and that's what that was for.
You got a big hot saw coming up. We'll let you get ready.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Dave.
Hey, big round of applause for Matty Slingerland and Jason Lentz.
Well, here we'll have another
final
look at that last heat in the springboard. You're looking at Matty Slingerland in the foreground, Jason Lentz in the background. And here are those pockets he was talking about. Opened up a great big window, started working it in, but there was a little bit of chip at the top. He had to clean it out. Right there, those last 2 hits, Matt felt like he needed them. That's Matt's choice. He's the one that's got to climb on them. Great solid board set. I think maybe 2 hits sooner, it still was there. I don't know if he really had to clean it out. He was V'd out in the back. It looked good, but he saw something he didn't like. This is where he goes to work in that top. Again, great looking board set. He's way back out towards the back edge of it. Tons of power going in. And this is where the contrast comes in between Jason and Matt. Here's where Matt bails out at maybe the 2/3 mark or maybe halfway mark and starts laying into the backside of this block in a traditional chopping swing. Jason Lentz, though, takes the win here with a different method. Like many of our competitors, he gets about 90% of the way through. Maybe not quite as far as Grant Foreman did, but still way far into this block, and then still goes way up high with it with a slashing motion, starts near. There's that twist, hangs on a few fibers at the end that just tear away.
For Jason Lentz, his official time is much better than his unofficial time, a 51.90. He's the top man in springboard. Walt Page in second place there. Walt Page fall into something of a hole to start out in this qualifier here and really reeled it back in with that performance there in the springboard chop. Matt Slingerland, his official time, 57.12. Your top 3 finishers in the springboard. All right, we're going to shuffle that deck again, and very important to check out the top 6 points leaders right here, because those are the ones who will be able to go to the championship tomorrow. And there it is for you. Jason Lentz on top. Matt Slingerland, second place. Third place, Josh Wilson. Adam Lethko, fourth place. Grant Foreman in fifth. And Walt Page puts himself back into the picture for the championship. He is in sixth place. Those 6 are going to the championship. Of course, they will stick around and try to burnish the work they have done today, or not, as they compete in the hot saw, our final discipline of the day. That's next.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own two hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
STIHL, the name you love and trust, is at acehardware.com. From chainsaws to edgers, trimmers to blowers, Ace has the STIHL equipment you need. Just pick your power. From gas to battery, STIHL has you covered at acehardware.com.
Big league performance in your backyard with battery power made by STIHL. Our AK home motor system starts at just $199.99. Not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find yours at over 10,000 local STIHL dealers.
Warm up your saw. Athlete, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
This is the one and only discipline where the athletes are alone on stage.
Yeah, probably the most important event, but yeah, also the most frustrating.
These saws are so incredibly powerful and dangerous.
Usually the hot saw is the slider.
Timber.
Hot saw, hot saw.
Like I can't describe to you when we're out there under pressure.
Saw starts well, first disc looks solid, cut is good.
You know, you're always ending the competition on a hot saw, so you know where you're going to be at when you finish. So you're either at a real big high or just is what it is.
Nice clean cut, easy and relaxed.
Der Hot Saw ist für mich die geilste Disziplin der Welt.
5, 6, 8, Robert Abner, 3 on the deck.
Hot saw is a love-hate for me. I honestly don't get that much enjoyment out of it. I'm not a motorhead. I swallow my pills and eat it.
Once the competition comes, anything can happen. Oh no, a false start by Sterling Hart. What a disaster.
Yeah, it was a disappointment for me. Happens though, it's part of competing.
I saw there's 3 good discs there, but then let that nose come right up underneath the crossover line.
Fortunately, a disqualification.
It all relies on the hot saw.
If you have bad luck or if you did wrong, it's sport, just your experience.
Oh my goodness, what an absolute disaster. The chain came off.
I was not disappointed because everybody see that I can be with the guys in front.
It's a bit of a disaster, so it was just operator error, and I didn't perform as well as I would have liked to.
Yeah, it's the make or break event, you know.
I think you love and you hate it.
Weltrekord wollte ich schneiden, das war immer mein Ziel schon seit Jahren. Und das jetzt hier bei der DM zu machen, natürlich so grandios, kann man eigentlich gar nicht besser schreiben, das Buch, und bin natürlich super glücklich.
Try to make 3 good cuts and no disqualification.
The hot saw is where it's all won, so that's the best event.
These custom, handmade, race-tuned machines are built for maximum power and precision and to cut the wood as fast as possible in a competition. They are built with a 60 to 80 horsepower single-cylinder two-stroke engine, often taken from a snowmobile or high-powered motorbike. The hot saw can weigh up to 30 kilograms and its chain rotates at over 250 kilometers an hour. The cost of a competition hot saw used in STIHL Timbersports is upward of 6,000 euros. Hot saw. For the hot saw, power saws are called into action and the athletes have a space of 15 centimeters to cut 3 complete discs off a 46 centimeter thick wooden block. Jumping the start or cutting over the line will result in a disqualification.
We are down to 6 now. Down to 6 from our original 10. The 6 who will go on to the championship, and these 6 are now paired off into 3 heats of the hot saw to wind up our competition here today. Include Matt Slingerland and Jason Lentz. The final heat, Adam Lethko and Josh Wilson in heat number 2. And Dave, you're ready to give us our competitors for heat number 1 of the hot saw.
Let's bring them out. Heat number 1 in the hot saw, Walt Page and Grant Foreman. I was going to give the competitors one more moment. They all get time to warm up their saws back there. These saws are anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 a piece, so they do give them a proper warm-up time. And when they come back out on stage, they give them a 1-minute warm-up again if they choose. But so much preparation involved. Walt Page bringing that hot saw all the way from Toll House, California. Watch the speed into the wood. Unlike the stock saw, these saws are warmed up, then shut off. And then when they on go, hands must leave the wood. Start the saw. It's a throwaway cord attached to a tether to keep that cord within your zone. But that saw must start. If it does not start, they have to re-tether, just losing valuable time and valuable steel points. Let's do it again. First heat of the hot saw. Big round of applause. Final event of the day, Walt Page and Grant Foreman.
Warm up your saws.
There you go. Now they have to recoil their starter cord, make sure their oil is on, make sure the ignition is turned on, the throttle is locked. See Grant Foreman there connecting his tether. So much to
30 seconds.
In this 1-minute warm-up time, and they use all 60 seconds. Watch for times under 7 seconds.
Athletes ready.
Send to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Some of the fastest times in the world would be in the upper 4-second range, and we'll have more DQs than anything else. And here we go. The trouble has started already. Stand number 2, Grant Foreman, no fire, gets it fired. Walt Page got it fired. but could not complete his third cut. Grant Foreman, though, trouble continues. An incomplete disc on the third disc for Grant Foreman. He can refire. He apparently will try to refire to sneak in another cut. There is not a lot of timber up there. I don't, I mean, you gotta try. You gotta try, and Grant did, but if there's any line there, I don't know if that was a complete cut. Walt Page, I'm not sure what happened with his saw. I'm wondering if we had another case of shirt and carburetor interaction. You see Grant Foreman wearing the, there it is. And that'll be a time. It isn't gonna be a fast time, but
unfortunately,
that will not be a time for Walt Page.
Disqualification for both competitors. Did Walt Page have that third disc severed before the 1 minute cutoff time? But all sorts of trouble by both these athletes. Grant Foreman, the reason I'm going to say he's
where should
okay
we start
is because
unpacking this heat?
Yeah, that's well. Where do we start?
Try to get 3 cuts. I believe he cut over the line. Walt Page, we have to find out why that saw died on the third cut. Is it atmospheric conditions, being indoors? But fortunately, there are a lot of hot saw mechanics hanging out back or up in the stands. They're going to be helping out Walt Page going into the final round tomorrow, trying to remedy that saw overnight, figure out why that died. Kevin
A
Holtz,
lot
you
of
probably know
discussion
more
on
than I
stand
do.
number 2.
Carburation problems.
Stand number 2, Grant Foreman, they're trying to figure out if he did have 3 complete cuts and if he did get it under the 1 minute time limit. There's a lot of pointing. When you have 2 experienced judges like Rich Hallett and Nathan Waterfield both over there pointing, scratching heads, questioning, well, we're going to find out the result right now.
All right, gentlemen, unfortunately, both cuts are bad.
Well, it took till the final event of 2 semifinals for 2 cuts to be bad. You had to try to get that third disc off. Regardless, you're going into the finals 2 years in a row. Tell us about your day.
Yeah, basically really even day. Finished mid-pack in almost every event. Did really well, was happy with the performance. Mandy, my fiance, asked me beforehand, she's like, why haven't you practiced hot saw? I said, if I make it to the hot saw, it's a good day. So maybe I should have practiced a little, but anyway, it worked out, so happy to be here tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, let's go back and have a look at this run from Walt Page. I suspected shirt in the carburetor. Watch this. There's 1. There's 2. So 2 little blips. Now, granted, his shirt was not stuffed in the carburetor at the time that it fell on its face, but that's essentially choking off air to that carburetor 2 different times, richening that air-fuel mixture significantly, and that saw just said, can't handle it. So here's Grant Foreman. This second cut was epic. It was a huge tabletop. It didn't leave him a lot of room for the third one. He wound up cutting out at the bottom. I don't think he realized it right away. Here's the moment where he kind of puts it all together. Decides he's going to go back, and he's got to do this. He's got to attempt that third cut. But I can tell just from that camera angle, there is little to no real estate at the top of that block. By the time you subtract the width of the saw chain out of that equation, he's got nothing to work with there. Meanwhile, back on stand number 1, there's Walt Page. He does get the saw fired, and part of what kind of makes me think that was a fuel issue where it was running too rich or he sucked too much in. He gave it a few hits on the squirt bottle, couldn't get it to fire. Eventually, a few pulls, it cleared itself, did fire, made a cut.
So there you go. We do not have a time existing so far after the first heat. Foreman and Page both DQ'd.
Second heat of the hot saw. Let's bring them out one more time. Adam Lethgo and Josh Wilson. Adam Lethgo on your left, bringing in the fastest time in the hot saw in the qualifying rounds, including Pool A and Pool B. He's going to make it to the finals tomorrow. Watch for him to just let it all fly in the hot saw. And Josh Wilson right there with him. If he can get in the wood with Adam, he can stay with him and possibly create an upset.
Warm up your saws.
On the last heat, we saw Walt Page have a little bit of carburetor shirt malfunction action. Grant Foreman was wearing the kidney belt / belly band. You see Adam Lethco wearing the kidney belt / belly band as well. Got the feeling that's going to be in Walt Page's wardrobe in the near future.
That's a wise fashion choice.
30 seconds.
Josh Wilson, not as much of a concern. You see he's got at least some form of air cleaner on the backside of that carburetor, so
yep.
His shirt probably won't get sucked up tight against it and not going to block off airflow.
Athletes ready.
Send to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Points on the board would be a good start. Adam Lethco says, I don't want to just make points. I want to win this thing. 4.83 seconds showing on that unofficial time. That could be a new record in the hot saw.
That was not just a hot saw win. That is a statement if he wins this hot saw.
What a run from Adam Lethco. We come off 2 disqualifications in the last heat, and we may have just witnessed a new record. First thing is, we got to see if the cuts are good. We need 3 clean cuts.
And what he just witnessed. Fist pumps all around, even from the deck crew.
Both cuts are good.
Both cuts are good, and one may have been just flat out exceptional.
If it had been broken, I think it may have just happened.
Checking for you right now.
Checking right now on the world record. Kevin and Tommy, we're asking you to look up those records. We have Adam Lethco with us right now. So much happened, and it happened after a spill in the Springboard, setting you up for potentially a national record. What was going through your head when that gun fired?
I was really hadn't picked my saw up yet with my left hand, so I was wondering if my shoulder would actually pick it up for me like I wanted it to, and it went pretty well.
Tell me what this sounds like. 4.62 seconds.
That's pretty hard to believe right there.
I believe that is a national record. We're going to have to check on the world record. Congratulations, you just attacked it. You're going to have to watch Jason Lentz go in this final heat. Do you think he or anyone in the country can best a 4.62?
Absolutely. The next 2 guys coming up are absolutely the other best hot sawyers in the country right now, in my opinion. They got some fast saws, really fast chains, and maybe I put a tiny bit of pressure on them.
Don't go anywhere. If you win this hot saw, we want to hear Rocky Top.
If I do, we'll sing Rocky Top.
That is a world record day.
That's a world record. Congratulations, new world record. Happened right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. Adam Lethco.
Well, it happened so fast that the instant replay just happened and we all just missed it. Let's watch this in slow motion so we can appreciate how quick he was to the wood, through the wood, and on all these changes. 0 lift, absolutely shuffling wood chips out of the way. What an amazing run. It's such a beautiful thing when all those pieces come together. The right operator, the right tool, the right timber, all at the same time. Here's one more look at it from Adam Lethco's beautiful world record run. You almost can't even see any stop in motion at those changes, and you can see that, I call that elbow up on those down cuts where he just gets leverage up over that saw and absolutely shoves it down through the block.
Yeah, you could just see him on that final cut. Back in the day when the hot saws first came out, you really weren't able to push down on them. Now Adam Lethco just pressing every pound he had in his body down through that 3rd cut, and the saw took it.
Again, there was an official time of 4.62 for that new world record. Joshua Wilson, a time of 6.12.
Worth one more look here. There's Adam Lethgo up on the big screen.
Final heat of the hot saw, final heat of the day. Big round of applause one more time for Matt Slingerland and Jason Lentz. Chasing the new world record. Do they go for it? Do they go for steel points? They're both in the finals. And I think it is impossible to tell these gentlemen not to go for a world record. This will be unbelievable to watch. Adam Lethgo not far away, knowing the day is not over for him if Adam Lethgo can win this event. But Jason Lentz winning the hot saw last year, can he repeat it?
Warm up your saws.
Former record holder stepping up to stand number 2, Jason Lentz. I bet he wants that back.
Jason Lentz on the right. The
Who's to say he can't do
world
it
record
right
holder.
now?
He broke the world record here last year in the Timber Sports Finals. It just fell to Lethgo. So you have an opportunity here for both of these athletes.
30 seconds. Athletes ready.
Send to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both these guys got to run their own race, but they're both chasing that record. They're both doing it very well. Synchronized hot saw runs. Both of them coming out right around the 5-second mark. Not enough for a new record, but still exceptional cuts.
Look at that stand number 1. Jason Lentz attacking both competitors. Absolutely attacking it. Adam Lethgo, I hope you're around, buddy.
What a rare treat to see two competitors right in sync with each other in a discipline where there are so many variables to go wrong. The springboard would be another example to watch, you know, two guys go 4 and 4 and board perfect and cut a great block. This is about as close as you'll get to that.
Both cuts are good.
We're gonna get an interview with Jason Lentz. One more interview, so don't go anywhere, big guy. But we're gonna watch the replay in just a second. The speed to the wood, they're getting them into the wood faster than we've ever seen. These competitors are training more than ever. They're spending more money, more time into their saws than ever. We saw carbon fiber being added to the saws. Things that we never saw back in the 90s when these hot saws were created. Here comes Jason Lentz, our reigning champion from last year, defending champion. Bring it over. Yeah, we're going to talk to you. Jason, it's just impossible not to attack this event. You broke the record last year. It propelled you to your first national title. Is this fun? Is the adrenaline fun? What's going through your mind? Talk to me.
Oh, the hot saw is, yeah, it's upbeat, Dave. And, yeah, the adrenaline, there's none other than timber sports. It's the last event. It's either make you or break you 90% of the time. And, yeah, I live for the adrenaline rush, man.
Well, absolutely. Why not with 200-mile-an-hour chain speed and that horsepower in your hands? What can you do to go faster? Is it in you or is it in the engine?
It's in the engine and chain and me, all three, I think. Yeah, looking to upgrade soon, train a little harder maybe.
Great day. Thanks for your time. We'll see you in the finals.
Thanks, Dave.
There you go, Jason Lentz, our defending national champion. We're going to see him in the finals coming up.
See a photo finish in the hot saw event, but here's a great one. Watch as these two guys shove through the bottom of this block. Clean, consistent cuts from both athletes. Lentz just edging out Slingerland barely in that final heat.
Pretty sure we've never seen 3 consecutive cuts under 5 seconds, but that's the reality of it right there. Adam Lethko with his amazing world record time of 4.62. Jason Lentz laid down a 4.95, and 2 100ths behind him was Matt Slingerland. That's the way you wrap up the hot saw right there.
Kevin and Tommy, I was just talking to Nathan Waterfield. He said the deck shook when both those competitors hit the launch simultaneously.
I believe it. I think I could feel it over here. Let's take a look at our overall points right now. That is all important, and here it is right now. Number 1, Jason Lentz. Number 2, Adam Lethko. Number 3, Matt Slingerland. Number 4, Josh Wilson. Number 5, Grant Foreman. And getting in there, number 6, Walt Page. All right, we add those 6 names to the 6 who qualified from Pool A. That, of course, would be Matt Coger, Cassidy Shear, Nate Hodges, Ben Nicely, Arden Coger Jr., and Calvin Willard. And there you will have the 12 competitors who will be going at it in the championship for 2022, the U.S. champion of the STIHL Timber Sports.